for 20 years, and it finally sold. Hello everybody, welcome back to the cabin, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, thanks for joining us today. You know, I often say I've been doing this for 21 years, and if you remember, you may remember me saying I was a high school history teacher for 21 years. And so that's not a coincidence. When I got my first teacher paycheck, I realized I'm gonna have to get another job, or I'm gonna have to do something. And then this eBay thing popped up. It's a long time ago. It wasn't brand new, but it hadn't been around forever. And I started to look for anything and everything that wasn't nailed down that I could sell. And a few of those things I actually found in the school discard pile. And I had sold a few things out of there, very, very low price things. And then a few things I'm like, holy moly, they're just getting rid of this stuff. Well, let me tell you, I had my eyes on an item for 20 years and it finally sold. And it hadn't been in the store for 20 years, but I've been looking at it for 20 years, and I'm going to tell you the story in just a minute, and it sold for $650. Let's take a look. Every time the seasons change, it seems like these banners sell, and that's what happened right here. And this was a double purchase, so I'm thinking maybe Julie is a viewer. I'm not 100% sure, but I think. Is this the right one? Spring is coming, y'all. There's baseball in the air. I can smell it. And Easter's coming. My birthday I think it's an early Easter this year. Might be right close to my birthday. Anyway, that one right there sold, and I can't remember how much it sold for, and it sold with something else from inside. It's just an Easter cross there, and a lily. So anyway, pretty nice. I usually buy these for $1 or $2, and it went to a viewer. I'm not sure Julie's a viewer. This is a first time purchase, and it has this and a couple of you're gonna laugh at me. Connect 4 replacement checkers. Not a whole set, just 2. At any rate, I don't know. This is going out total between the two. I'll show those to you later. Is $16.81 plus shipping. So Julie, if you are a viewer, I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the banner. Sold another banner, and this one is definitely to a viewer. I'm not sure about the last one. I think last episode we had 1 viewer sale, and this one we've already had 2, assuming the first one was a viewer. And this one went to Sam. He just wanted to thank us for the help in the video. So Sam, I appreciate it. Let me give you one more tip, Sam. If you're ever selling a banner, if I can find the right one, this is Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo has a great following, by the way. I guess I can open it for you. It just says welcome, I think. I don't know. I might open it. If you ever sell one of these, make sure you put banner and flag in the title. Put garden in the title, like garden flag, garden banner, whatever. Home banner, house banner, flag. Those are all keywords, and some people leave one out, and it really, really hurts in the search, so people can't find it. So there you go, Scooby-Doo, and I'll just post a picture of it real quick right here. Scooby-Doo, and that one is headed out, and I think it went for $26. Scooby-Doo sells really, really well, and I had to wait a while for that sale, but it was worth it. And now that a viewer's getting it, I'm even more happy. And that reminds me of Casey Kasem, y'all. Remember Casey Kasem? He did the voice for Shaggy for a while. Thank you very much, Sam. Next one, I'm sure a lot of people are like, why would you even bother selling that thing? And a lot of times I will sell these lettuce keepers for Tupperware in the booth, and I'll put like $5, $6 on them. They go pretty quick. You know, buy them for $1 or whatever. This I bought in a giant lot. But this one didn't have that inner, if you've ever seen these before, there's like an inner like spike that you can put the head of lettuce on. And without that, you can keep it under 12 ounces easily in a box. And so at $15, you figure, I don't know, $2.50 in fees, $4.50, $6, $7, maybe $8. You're probably looking at a $7 profit here, because this can stay under 12 ounces. You should be able to anyways. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to be wrong. There we go. There you go. That's going to be 12 ounces. After we put a little paper, I mean, it doesn't need. The reality is, and I ship a lot of Tupperware just like as it is, bubble wrap it and put it in a pot. I mean, you're not going to break this stuff. But for this one, it can stay under 12 in the box, and we'll make $7 on the deal. I think it's worth it. And that is one of those items that I'm able to sell pretty quick, because I do free shipping on it, because I know it's not going to cost me more than about $4.50 or so to ship. Because a lot of people put priority mail on those things. It's gonna be hard to sell that. If you're doing calculated priority mail, it'd be real hard to sell it. The next item, I think, yeah, I put the Atari stuff up here. All right, there's two different types of paddles. These paddles must be the driving paddles right here. 22 bucks on that one. I don't know if I did first class shipping on this one or if I did free shipping. But I think I did plus shipping on this one. But again, probably, I don't know if it's going to be a 5x5x5 box. Probably not. Probably a 6 by, or an 8x6x4 box. Which reminds me, by the way, to give a thank you to Joel for buying plans for the Commonwealth shipping table over there at CommonwealthPicker.com. And these sold for $22 plus shipping. And we're going to ship them out in the 8x6x4, which goes right there, Joel, if you ever build this thing. So thanks so much for that. I appreciate it. You may have heard me tell the story about the very first thing I sold on eBay. If not, I'm going to tell it one more time. It was something I got out of the social studies department room. It was a cassette tape. It was brand new sealed cassette tape of the Kennedy-Nixon debates, the Nixon-Kennedy debates. And it was brand new sealed, and there were multiples of it, and they were clearing out. You know, I was there for 21 years, so I went through 3 cleanouts of social studies departments. One entire move, and they're throwing stuff out and all this. And so I saw that. I'm like, you know what? I bet that would sell. There were no comps on eBay, but somebody out there wants a cassette tape of the Nixon-Kennedy debates, because that debate, they would, you know, if I was a teacher, I would let the kids listen to the debate and then let the kids watch the debate, or maybe do 2 different focus groups. And the people who listened to the debate thought that Nixon won. The people that watched the debate thought that Kennedy won. The visual effect, right? The politics changes from that point forward. Well, long story short, it sold for like, I don't know, $14 or something, free shipping. And I'm like, holy moly, there's a lot of these in here and they're just getting rid of them. I need to start looking for stuff to sell on eBay, because I think I can make a pretty good amount of money. And here we are 21 years later, right? Well, there were some other books that I got out of the discard pile in the library that ended up in the social studies department, and we could use them if we wanted or take them home or whatever. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. 2 of them I picked up. Well, one was a set, and it was the Letters, Papers, and Speeches of Jefferson Davis, published in the 1920s. That's pretty cool. And then the other one was right after the Civil War, is published in the I can't remember. I want to say like 1871 or something like that. I could be totally wrong about that. And it was The Rise and Fall of the Confederate States. I'm like, man, this thing is old, and they're throwing it away. So I grabbed that, and I just let it sit there for a while because I just thought it was cool. Well, eventually I sold them for big money. I mean, like $900 for one and like $1,100 for the other, something like that. I can't remember. It may be less than that. But I sold it for pretty good money. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I saw these books sitting there, and I made sure, there were no comps out there, nothing like that, years and years ago. But I made sure that whenever there was a move in the social studies department, a clean out, that those books were protected. Eventually, I just put them in my room because, you know, I didn't think anybody else would use them. There's an African-American history class. I asked a couple teachers over the years, as the teachers changed, if they wanted to use them, and they never did. And I'm like, these things are too good to just disappear someday, and certainly way too good to get thrown in the trash. And so I saved them. I used them just a little bit each year, a couple little passages out of them in my class, and I would use them. I'd point to them as a reference, and that was about it. But there's some amazing stuff. I'll talk about it for just a second when we're in the eBay cave, but we'll talk about the sale for right now. I listed them for like 50 bucks, I think, free shipping each, because there were digital copies out there that I could see pop up from time to time, but none of these hardbacks. I'm like, man, these have got to sell. Eventually a couple sold, and then I got a message the other day, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? Because they're like, hey, I like this. You know, how many do you have? What are you willing to do if I buy them all? And I said, how about this? So there's 25. Buy the first one at full price, 50 bucks, and then buy 12 more, because there's, you know, 24. Buy 12 more, and I'll throw in the other 12. So basically one full price, and then half price for everything else. And we'll just do it that way. Just buy the 13, and I'll throw the other 12 in for you. and we'll ship them off. And they said, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. So they're all in for $650. It's going to cost a little bit. It's medium mail, but it's going to cost a little bit to ship that. Those are amazing. I haven't even told you what they are yet, have I? Hopefully when I edit this, I'll have put it in there in the text or something, right? This is the Journal of Negro History. It is a compilation year by year. They would have these conventions. I don't know if they're conventions. I don't even know what you want to call it. But, you know, a lot of people didn't sit down and write down the history of African Americans in this country pre-Civil War. You know, in the 18th century, there wasn't a whole lot of it. A little bit more in the 19th century and certainly more in the 20th century. Well, these things right here would go back and they would be a compilation of everything that was published in that particular year about anything that had gone on in previous history. It's amazing stuff in there. And I'll talk about it inside. But I was so happy that somebody who is doing, they're a professor, they're doing a few different things with it. They're using it mainly for research because you can't find this stuff anywhere. And it's amazing content. I mean, deep dives into stuff. It's pretty cool. And so I'm very happy they're headed somewhere from a discard pile. Y'all, there are discard stamps in here. It blows my mind that people didn't think this. I think they were probably discarded for the very first time probably in the early 1990s. And then I saw them after they were discarded into a social studies department because somebody saved them way back then. And I had to save them 2 or 3 more times. Pretty happy about that. To be honest, I know we could have got a lot more for those if we just would have waited, but this person seemed so amazing and sincere and was going to use them in a great way. So we definitely are happy to pass that on to them, and they were kind in the messages as well. And I'm not going to throw their name out there, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Maybe I should ask. So there you go. This sucker right here. So I got so many questions about this. Made in Hong Kong. This thing is vintage, y'all. Doesn't look like it, but it is. And that sold for $32. So Blue Ridge Mama was right. She picked it up at the Goodwill for $3.99. Pretty good little profit. Dave over there, NC Flipper, NC Picker, is always trying to give away my enema men here on the show without telling me. So Dave, if you're listening, that's a great trivia question. If anybody wants to go over to the Trash to Cash podcast on the next episode, maybe the next one, maybe 2 from now, and you can tell them, maybe he can ask the question, and the very first person in the comments to get it right, what's the first thing I sold on eBay? Maybe we'll do a giveaway. So there you go. That gas cap. This is one of those dollar bin buys. Hadn't sold one in forever. And then all of a sudden started to sell some. There's, look at that, $3. But I paid $1 for it. And it sold for $15 free shipping. It's a little heavier than it looks. But it's still going to be first class. So package that up. It's going to be close. I don't think I can get it out. I don't think I'd put that in a padded poly. So I think that's going to end up probably going on the 12-ounce rate, unfortunately. It's going to end up, after putting it in a box, going to be about 10 ounces. It's okay. I'll take it. $15. So you figure in a $2.50 in fees, $1 in, so $3.50. Sold for $15. Let's say it's going to cost, I don't know. Let's say $4.50 to ship it, $7, $8. It's going to be about a $7 profit. The next one also sold for $15. You may remember it from the Highway 127 sales that we went to. This one was the No Shame yard sale, I think. And we bought this from the Updikes, who we got to know pretty well while we were there. They're really awesome people. They have a YouTube channel, the Updike Family Homestead. And they were the Shirttails plush. And there was, I think we put like 3 together. Shirttails. Y'all remember Shirttails? I remember that. And I don't remember it very well, but I do remember it. And there was 3 of the Pammy Pandas. And so we sold 2 separate, and then the other one's in a group right there. And this one sold for $15. Old Shirttails. That was pretty cool. I gotta go back and watch some of those. I remember it, but I just can't quite remember it. You know, 1981 Hallmark. So I was pretty young when that was out, but I do remember it. How many of y'all remember it out there? So that one's gonna go out at the, let's see. Yeah, we'll put that one in a poly bag. I mean, it's not gonna get hurt. $15 for that one. Isn't it amazing how they say, you know, everything eventually sells on eBay? Well, it's not entirely true, but it's pretty true. Look at this. We're down to, man, how many games were in the Motherload sale? We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left. That's it, because this one sold for $9 plus shipping, NHL 2000, and that puts us up to $2,287. I want to talk about 2 more things before we head into the eBay cave. Had like 4 or 5 sales in there, a couple of really good ones, but I almost forgot about this one right here. We sold an Enaman, as opposed to this guy. We're still putting up one auction a week. Just going to keep that one going for a long time. I know a lot of people still want that one. I'm thinking maybe we'll be done by next Christmas. I'd like to include some in our 12 Days of Christmas auctions that we end up donating a lot of that. At least 50% of all of them, but some of them 100% of go to the kids' charities and or viewer charities that they choose, etc. So we're going to keep that up, at least I hope, into the very end of this year, up to New Year's 2023. So this one's from Samantha Lynn, right? There's a southern name. Are you from the South? Thank you for being so gracious to us. We are longtime subscribers and appreciate all the info to guide us along the way with our store. Much love and appreciation, J and S Pickers. So I don't know what the S is. I know what the S is. Samantha, I don't know what the J is. But thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. This isn't the other thing I want to talk about. We'll talk about in a second. But I just noticed that this is not my clipboard. So Reagan has clearly come and done a switcheroo. And I know why, because I heard talking about it the other day. That the other clipboards, she can't do her, because it's not flat right here. So what she does, she makes these bracelets, and that's, not all of them, but the two right there, or one of them anyway. And she'll make bracelets for all of her friends, and for me, and for her mama, and her brother, and for her brother's girlfriend, and all that stuff. Turner, although Turner doesn't wear them. And she uses that clipboard because she strings them down like that. And so she stole my clipboard and gave me this one. Oh, well. All right, I am going to talk just very briefly here for like 30 seconds. And then at the end of the video, a little bit more about something. I'm going to do something that has been long in the works. I have talked to many, many people to try to come up with the right decision here on which one of these listing services I should do. I should try, and I have literally talked to the CEOs, to the founders of not all of these companies, but a lot of these companies. And I am excited to tell you about what I'm about to do and then give you a little insight into that a little bit later in the video, but mostly on another video on the Commonwealth Auctions channel, because a lot of you might not want to hear about this because it doesn't apply to you, but I think it's something that all of us should start thinking about as we head into the future to kind of hedge our bets against all of these different listing platforms. eBay is still king in many respects, certainly for what I do. I mean, Amazon is king, but this isn't exactly Amazon kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit once we get done with the inside part, which is tons of great stuff. Turner, you know how glad I am that I don't have to say snot rod anymore. This is the last time I say snot rod. Speaking of snot rod, who's sneezing over here, huh? Anyway, that's sold. We don't have to say it anymore. It's pretty cool. Snot rod, and what was the other one? Boost, right? Well, this one sold for $12 plus shipping. Definitely enough for you to do what?
Save $1, spend $1, and donate $1.
You ready, Sophie? Huh? You want another treat? Watch this. You want a treat? You can't sneeze on the merchandise here. You want a treat? You want a treat?
Want to go all right? Bye.
Here you go, girl. There you go. That treat was from a viewer, Very kind of you. All right, this one I pulled out the other day, or yesterday, but then decided I wasn't going to ship it, so it should be on top, unless something's moved, and it hasn't. Cobra Amp Cell Golf Club head cover. This is one of the only ones from last year's lost and found sale over there at the golf course that didn't sell. And so now it's sold. And so I think this is the last one from that one, and the rest are from this year. $11.50 for that one, free shipping. And it's pretty light, but I don't know. That one might end up going at the 8-ounce rate, because I think, yep, there it is, 4.3. So definitely going out at the 8-ounce rate, but still not a bad little, probably $6 profit. You can see my stack of electronics here. I've been working my way through it. Sold one today, though. These two are the Connect 4 replacement pieces. I do not recommend doing this at all. And I don't even know what it's, $6, something like that. And they went to, I think it was Julie at the very beginning of the video, the one who got the Easter banner. And here's one of the VCRs, Orion. It's not a great VCR brand, but I'll take it. $30 plus shipping. And I like to sometimes get these, well, depends, but I mean, I list these priority mail, the smaller ones, because I can get this in a cubic foot. And I've got a video about it. Maybe if I can remember, I'll put it up here. If not, just, you know, Commonwealth, how to ship a VCR or something. And you can actually get these priority mail under that cubic foot and do it safely. I've never had a return on one of these for any kind of damage or anything like that. Now, for anything bigger than that, those small versions, just definitely not worth it. You need to put some padding, make sure it's all around. And for those bigger ones, especially the combos, no way. You need to make sure it's protected, and those are bigger, so to protect it and being bigger, it's going to definitely put it over 1 cubic foot. You need to go through FedEx or UPS, probably UPS at this point, but that's where I used to do tons of FedEx, and now I'm moving towards UPS. Anybody else just going the other way right now? And I'll tell you, things like that right there, for closer options here, the post office is still beating those. And so, you know, if you want to do calculated shipping, you reduce your audience size way down, but the people who are looking at it are getting a better deal. This is a cord to that reel-to-reel machine, teak, what I call it, and people can yell at me if they want. And that one went for $15 plus shipping, all pure profit at this point. And then one of the other cables for it, $22 plus shipping. One more thing, but I said I'd talk about those books for just a second, so I'm going to try to keep it really, really short because I really could get talking about those books for a while because there's amazing information in them. I mean, they go back to some of the earliest first-hand account sourcing of arguments inside of the government itself, the state governments, even the federal government, very early on in our country's history. Right after our founding, the abolitionist movement had already begun. And it gets into the religious context of it. It's amazing. And all the churches that were... I often ask... I don't know. Well, I'll do it. What the heck? So I always talk to my students. I'm like, you know, what is it about... Why is the African-American community so attached to Christianity, even though the people who enslaved them were Christians for years? This is probably not a good topic to talk about. And if you look into this book, and I'd pull out the sources... you can see that the abolitionist movement started in a lot of those church movements, even the ones that over in England and Britain, comes over into the United States. And that movement, it takes a long time to really get enough traction to end slavery in the United States. But it is an amazing collection of things that would have been lost to history. And then this book wasn't heavily published. And you can't find them. So, anyway, I could talk forever about it. This is the spare belts that came with that thing. They're probably not in the best of condition because they're old and they've been sitting in this box, but they're original and they're in the box, which is kind of cool. Sold for $22 plus shipping. All right, we're filming 2 videos in one day, but you won't see this till the next video, which is why she's wearing the same clothes, because she's busy with, hey, that's the Virginia State meet. That's coming up here. That was the one you won the state championship. Quite a little gymnast there, or at least for one event. What's your best event?
Probably right now, beam and floor. Beam and floor.
Okay. All right, we're going to read these names off in a second, but show us what you got there.
Got 2 different rings.
2 different rings. Where do they come from?
Jacob's, where Jacob works.
Bubba?
Yeah, sorry.
Jacob. Where Bubba works, that's right. Bubba works at the car wash, and he brought them home because he found them. People throw away all kinds of stuff and vacuum it all up, and he's like, I don't think these are anything, but I thought I'd bring them home to Reagan. What'd you find out? What's that one?
This one's 925.
Okay, 925, so a little bit of sterling silver.
And this one is nothing.
This one's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Tiny little diamond, probably not real. And no gold on that one, so.
Nope.
So that one's worth a couple bucks. We'll put it in our sterling silver pile. All right, let me read these, unless you want to read them. I'll just read them. Misty got a blue shirt, and she got an Enema Man. Joel got a yellow shirt, an Enemug, and an Enema Man. And what else do we have here? Chris, Victoria, yeah, you can hold that up, because all these people got at least one of these. Chris, Victoria, Jen, Lisa, Kevin, Jackie, Brent, and Tori, Pittsburgh Picker, and Deb. So, thank y'all so much, and we got a bunch more going out. And you, I don't know if you'll be on this video. No, it won't be. But you'll be packaging them up.
Yep.
And get you on another video. So thank you for all your help. And
bye. And don't forget to get your sticker at commonwealthpicker.com.
I wanted to give a quick thank you to Donna. Pretty sure it's Donna. I got to look here. I read the message, but yep, it's Donna. And thank you so much for the message and the email. And we are going to find a place for it in the back of the cabin here somewhere. I'm not sure if anywhere else, even on the roof. Maybe we'll keep it for the next cabin. And we were talking about the numbers here. And yes, I do understand the meaning here. I do get it. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And it's going to be heading back there soon as I get done with this show. All right, I'm going to try my best to just talk about this topic for like a minute and a half or so, but, you know, usually I spill over. I'm going to make a video, or I might have already made this video over on Commonwealth Auctions to explain it a little bit further for those of you who are interested and for those of you who this applies to. The reality is 90% of the people who watch this show, this isn't for them, and it probably doesn't apply to them. And so I did the separate video over there. But I feel like since I'm on YouTube talking about reselling, that a couple things I needed to do, and a lot of them I've done. You know, I need to know how to sell on different platforms. I sell on Depop limited, but I know how to sell on Mercari. I've sold over there before. I'm not right now. Facebook Marketplace, you know, Bonanza, you know, all that stuff. I've sold on it. I know what I'm doing. But the reality is, you know, I've got social media followings on multiple platforms, and that alone increases my sales 20 to 25%. And a lot of people don't have that. And so I don't have to list cross-post on all these different websites. It takes a lot of time, and it's a headache to do it. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll do it when these listing services, when the service gets better, these cross-posting services get better, and when they're ready, I'm going to make a move in that direction. Well, I've seen them get ready. I've been talking to my friends who do this stuff, who use these things. And I reached out to quite a few of you. I'm not going to mention all your names, but you know who you are. 5 or 6 of you who use these, who have used both of these, who used one, switched to another, got the new one. You know, there's all kinds of different platforms out there. And you gave me such great advice. And then the CEOs of these companies, multiple companies across the board, reached out to me. Some I reached out to them. They scheduled phone conversations. We talked on Zoom. And I was so impressed with where this whole thing is moving, because it is very, very difficult. You know, if you're selling on Poshmark to keep all this stuff straight is very, very hard. And just because I didn't need to do it because of my situation doesn't mean there's not some of you out there who may need to do it in the future. So I figured I would learn this. Now, I'm just going to tell you which one I'm just incredibly impressed with. I'm not getting a dime from these people. I am going to have affiliate links. Matter of fact, I might already have them below. And I'm going to be talking, you'll hear me a little bit over the next few months talking about my process on List Perfectly. Taking all, 1,100 of my listings. I'm doing it as we speak here. The last couple days, I've started to transfer things into the List Perfectly platform from eBay. And hopefully, it'll take a while, but hopefully I'll get to all of them. I was so impressed with Amanda and Clara. Amazing ladies, amazing. And the community that they've built, I'm old, I don't like to change. All this stuff, it's like, oh, it just gives me a headache. I don't want to be doing any of this stuff. And they have built a community for even people like me to make it easy to do and to take your time doing it. And I'm just excited about it. I'm not sure how many platforms I'm going to go on. I'm at least going to go on 2 at this point, because I think one, and I'll talk about this in the video, I think one is a growing platform and is here to stay and will be a force to reckon with for a long time. And I don't want to multi-list. I don't want to list on multiple platforms. I want to list in one place. And I want to have the benefit of the multi-platform listings. And there's a few things I've been waiting for that they really bowled me over with. So thank you, ladies, for taking your time. Thank you to all of the people out there. This has been a 4-month process for me. I haven't ever mentioned it on the show. But I'm like, if I'm going to be talking to people about reselling and I get this question over and over again, I at least ought to know the answer to it. And I was so impressed with them. So anyway, that'll be over. Look at that, 4 minutes. I was supposed to do a minute and a half. That'll be over there on Commonwealth Auctions channel soon. And thanks for listening to this. And thanks if you go over there and check it out. If it's not up yet, it'll be up soon. We appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you next time.